You are the official team medical doctor for IPL season that's currently going on. If a sports person gets injured during IPL, what is the protocol that we follow?
Did you feel any tuck while you twisted your ankle? If yes, then it's a red flag sign. And not everybody is a runner or a marathoner.
So, starting with the basics first, what does a day in the life of a orthopedic sports surgeon look like? Morning to evening, क्या करते हैं आप?
So earlier I used to wake up at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock and then rush to my hospital for my work. But since last 2 to 3 years, it has been my practice to get up early in the morning around 5:30, 6 o'clock. And then I have my scheduled workout for the day planned. And I take around 1 hour in the morning itself to work out, take my protein, complete my dietary goals in the morning itself and as per requirement, and then in another half an hour or 1 hour I rush to my hospital, which is around 40-15 minutes from my home. And as soon as I am able to reach my hospital, on most days we have our OT planned, in which we start our day with the OT, and on most days there are 3 to 4 cases planned.
Okay. Approximately 3 to 4 cases every day on general you are treating her. So what kind of injuries do patients come up with in general?
Patients suffering from knee injuries, shoulder injuries, they are the major chunk that we cover. And to talk about the diagnosis or the specific surgery that we do, so it is mostly ACL care that we do, meniscus repair surgeries, cartilage related issues. In shoulder area, we do the frozen shoulder problems, the rotator cuff injuries, patients who are dealing with recurrent shoulder dislocations. These are the main areas of focus. And apart from that, other injuries related to knee and ankle, hip, elbow, wrist, these are the main areas that patients do come to us.
Okay. I remember in the beginning times, there were just orthopedic surgeons who were treating all the cases and it was very generalized. Do you think nowadays it is going in specific direction or specific personalization where doctors are choosing a stream of practice and getting more experience and better at that one specific domain?
So this is a very practical observation from your side that yes, people and doctors are going towards holding a specific niche for themselves, or maybe you can call it super specialty. And also the patients demand that they want to get treated by a doctor who has a specialized and expertise in that specific problem that they are dealing with. So in the last few years, I would say earlier the orthopedics was a whole branch wherein all the joint related problems, all the fractures, spine related issues, all the people suffering from deformity like bow legs and knock knees, they were treated under the same umbrella. But with time, what happened was people realized and the medical fraternity realized that they need to further subspecialize into these domains so as to give them a overall better care.
Okay.
So in orthopedics, it is further divided into arthroplasty, that is the surgeons who are specifically doing joint replacement as a majority part of their work. A few subsections are dealing with spine related surgeries and spine related issues. That covers all the back pain and the disc issues.
Okay.
Next, we have orthopedicians who are dealing with a younger age group, that is the pediatric orthopedics. They deal with all the deformities of the knee and ankle, like bow legs and knock knees, and
All right.
newborns that have a little bit of twisted foot and the club foot that we commonly call it, and who have shunted growth height. Then we come to sports orthopedic surgeons who deal with people who are more into sports, who are into active lifestyles. They don't have a proper fracture per se, but because of regular use and wear and tear, they often get injuries that are ranging from sprain to strain to ligament tears, tendon tears, and cartilage issues. So this is the domain that
Okay.
is going into more into focus with the recent trends.
So you mentioned bow leg and knock knees. These are conditions that happen from a very young age. I believe when children are growing up, they are very active in school. Also, they participate in sports and co-curricular activities. Do you think children who are active in their early teenagers or early stages, they have more chances of developing bone deformities than someone who is not very active? Maybe because the pressure on their legs is different than someone who is not active. So is that so?
So the cause of bow legs and knock knees are have a huge variety of the causes. So starting from genetics to some form of deficiencies of minerals like vitamin D and magnesium, and to not being able to identify the cause at the right time and treating it, and weight issues also there in some patients, and hormonal imbalance is also there. So to correctly identify the root cause and treating them at the right stage is very important, because some form of bowing and knock knees is normal till a certain age. But if it persists after that age also, then it should be dealt with proper clinical.
Okay. So for those who don't know about bow legs or knock knees, can we just show some description that how do it look like? Like bow legs अगर किसी के होते हैं तो वो कैसे दिखते हैं और knock knees होते हैं तो कैसे दिखते हैं?
So when we say knock knees, so as we can see in the image that when the patient walks, जब दोनों knees आपस में टकराते हैं तो पेशेंट को ऐसा लगता है कि मैं चल कैसे पाऊंगा, क्योंकि जो नीचे वाले पैर हैं वो बाहर की तरफ निकलते हैं और घुटने आपस में टकराते हैं. इसी का अगर हम रिवर्स कर देंगे तो धनुष बाण की तरह दोनों पैर बो लेग करेंगे, जिसमें दोनों नीज के बीच का जो डिस्टेंस है वो बहुत वाइड हो जाता है, और फिर पेशेंट थोड़ा जैसे डक चलती है ऐसे करके वो चलता है. यही सेम बो लेग्स जो है बच्चों में भी होते हैं, एंड जब 60, 70, 80 इयर्स की जो फीमेल्स होती हैं मोस्टली, उनमें भी जब ये प्रॉब्लम आने लग जाती है मेनली बिकॉज ऑफ ऑस्टियोआर्थराइटिस, तो वो बो लेग्स उनके भी हो जाते हैं, जस्ट बिकॉज क्योंकि उनका जो इंडियन आउटफिट है वो उसको कवर कर लेता है, इसलिए हम आइडेंटिफाई नहीं कर पाते. बट इवेंचुअली जब हो जाता है तो उनकी भी जो गेट है या जो चाल है वो खराब होने लग जाती है, और वो यूजली राइट लेफ्ट करके चलते हैं, तो वो दूर से पता चल जाता है कि कुछ इशू है नी में जिसकी वजह से वो प्रॉब्लम फेस कर रहे हैं.
तो बेसिकली स्पोर्ट्स में बात करते हैं, देयर आर वेरी डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ स्पोर्ट्स जो आजकल जैसे स्टार्ट हो रहा है. अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर गोइंग टुवर्ड्स मैराथन, स्विमिंग बहुत कॉमन है जो लोग प्रेफर करते हैं करना, देन प्लेइंग क्रिकेट, फुटबॉल, and number of sports are there that people love. Me being an athlete, I love to do swimming, I do running regularly, I love cycling as well. So marathon being a activity getting so much attraction nowadays, what kind of injuries do runners face in general, या फिर क्या risk हो सकते हैं उसके, and what preventions can a runner take in their daily life?
So yes, you are right pointing it out that in the recent trends we can see that marathons are really taking up a huge overturn in Delhi and nearby areas. And almost every other Sunday there's a big marathon happening, all the promotions are happening. So because of the investment and the companies that are organizing it, they want it to be an event. So they want more and more people to participate, right?
Yeah.
And not everybody is a runner or a marathoner. Most of the people in Delhi NCR are working not at their peak fitness at all the time. Not everyone is running for their fitness. Mostly are doing gym, some are doing yoga, some are doing meditation, which are not very much stimulating as compared to a run. So they might be able to run for 2 to 3 kilometers, but after that, it will be a challenge for them.
It becomes challenge. But people who are running regularly, they build up endurance, they increase their performance. And so someone who is starting up immediately. Let's say a person who is a working professional and although he is fit, but he is not very active in physical activities, let's say. So he wants to take up marathon or he wants to participate in a marathon and start running. So immediately, let's say, let's take an example. I want to, I'm just generally fit. I'm not very active in marathon, but I want to start running now. What precautions should I take if I have 1 week left for a marathon? Maybe a little bit stretching exercises or ligament or my tendon exercises, or what all body part should I take care of or do some warm ups that would help me in maybe just improving some performance or even getting safe from an injury. What do you think about
This
that?
is a very practical question that if I want to participate in a marathon and I am not a very good runner per se, and the due date is next week or next to next week. So what should I be doing at this point so that I do the marathon run efficiently and
Yeah.
save myself from the injuries? So here, three basic fundamentals of exercises followed, which shouldn't be ignored. First is to start your workout with a warm up. So 10 to 15 minutes of warm up is very important.
Just immediate before the run.
Immediate before the actual workout or whatever run is required. So what it does is it activates your musculoskeletal system. Meaning it tells your body that yes, these are the areas or muscles that are starting up in your body like a engine in your car. So you need to
Gearing up.
for the whole run. So you start doing your exercises, you heat it up, you let the blood flow towards that specific areas and muscles that will be utilized in the run.
Okay.
10 to 15 minutes of warm up. This is the first thing. Second thing is the run itself or the exercise part. And the third will be stretching.
Okay.
So these three things have to be followed in almost all types of sports so as to prevent yourself from short-term or long-term pain and injuries.
I believe general, like let's say, possibility of injuries, it might not be very severe where a bone is getting broken, or it might not be very, let's say, on a lower level where I can just apply Volini and it gets cured within a couple of hours. Maybe if I get a twisted ankle or if someone gets some ligament tear or tension, for that. So let's start with the basics. Can you define what is a ligament, what is a tendon, and difference between muscles and how are all of these interlinked?
So most of us are aware about our bones, that is the hard bone part. But what is often ignored are the muscles, the tendon, the ligament, the cartilages, because we have obviously not seen it in reality because they are all covered inside. But whenever we get an X-ray done, whatever is visible on X-ray is the bone. But it's not like that the bone floats in air or water inside the body. It is supported by a group of tissue such as muscles.
Yeah.
So muscle is something that covers the bare area of the bone and it helps in balancing the movements and doing the actual movements. And a muscle is attached to a bone with the help of a tendon.
Okay.
So there is a whole bulk of muscle. It narrows down, it becomes a cord or rope-like structure and then attaches onto a bone.
Okay.
Okay. And whenever a bone is connected to another bone, it is with the help of a ligament.
All right. Ligaments attach a bone to another bone, and
Yes.
muscle is basically required to move that bone.
Yes. And a muscle is attached to a bone with the help of a tendon. So the narrowed part of a muscle is the tendon.
Okay. So coming back to running.
Okay.
What all injuries related to my ligaments or tendons? I think these are the most common which are injured. People think that I have a problem in my bone, but it is majorly about ligaments and tendons, right?
Yes. So even if you are not conditioned your body and your muscles to running, and if you suddenly do a exercise that is very exertional for your body, So it comes down in the forms of different types of pain. The most common pain symptom that some runner experiences after a marathon is DOMS. So DOMS is delayed onset muscle soreness.
Okay.
So it is because of the lactate level that have increased in the body post run, and usually it is shows its symptoms after a day or two after the activity.
Okay. I remember with some of my friends, we were having a football match a couple of months back. So we were very excited that after a long time we are restarting our physical and sports journey, taking time aside from the work life and all the busy schedule. So we were having a very good match, a good time. Even due to a little bit warm up and stretching, my performance was also very good. But in between, I got my ankle twisted. I think this is very common. A lot of people, someone is walking down the stairs, they get their ankle twisted. Someone who stepping out of the car, sometimes they step on a stone and our ankle is twisted. So ankle twisting is very common among people. And sometimes it takes a very long time to recover. Like I remember it took me around 1 to 2 months to recover fully. So if someone gets their ankle twisted, then what should they do at that specific moment? Because in the heat of the moment, you don't realize the severity of the case. But later, as the heat starts to wear off and you start to feel the pain. So what course of action should an athlete or a person follow if they suffer from ankle twisting?
So as soon as you realize that your ankle is twisted, first and foremost thing is just take a back seat. Stop the game for yourself. Sit on the bench. Take someone's help. First analyze and think in your mind, has anything popped? Did you feel any tuck while you twisted your ankle? If yes, then it's a red flag sign.
Okay.
Secondly, see how the swelling is increasing. On the immediate basis, I'll tell you 3 tips that will be very helpful. First, do icing. As soon as possible, apply cold compression over the area.
Okay.
That will really help to decrease the swelling and the pain. Next, add up a crepe bandage because it helps compresses the local area and it helps not to increase the swelling.
Okay.
Also, avoid weight bearing on that limb for at least a while till you get it checked up. So you don't have to keep walking on even if you are in pain. So some form of rest is advised. That is the standard protocol that we follow. Rest, icing, some form of compression with the help of crepe bandage and keep it at an elevated level so that the swelling decreases. Take few days, let it subside, and eventually you realize if it's okay, then you can continue with your daily lifestyle. Otherwise, get yourself checked out.
Very important point that you mentioned that at that moment we have to do cold compressing. A lot of people don't have knowledge about a first aid care or peers in the like friend group. They are just like, "यार ठीक हो जाएगा कोई बात नहीं." Although they are trying to support, but obviously they don't know the medical treatment. Let's say someone got an ankle twisted, and in that moment, instead of a cold press, maybe a team member took a hot compress and put it there. So what will happen then?
So the rationale behind doing icing and hot fermentation are totally opposite, and I'll explain you how it works. So whenever there is an injury happening in the body, suddenly the body senses it and it sends some form of chemicals that help in overall healing of the area.
Okay.
But whenever the blood flow increases and the white blood cells increases there, there's a tendency that a swelling will occur and hence the pain will increase. So in that gush of blood that is happening, the kinetic energy of the blood increases. So to slow that down, slow the overall process at the local area where you are injured, icing and cold fermentation slows that process. And while you are slowing that process, the rapid inflow of the blood, you are decreasing the velocity of the blood that is over there, and which will help easen down the pain and decrease the swelling. But if you do it reverse, if you apply hot fermentation or hot packs over a freshly injured area, it will just quickly increase the swelling, will increase the pain, and eventually you will think that something major has happened. So always remember, if a fresh injury is there, if your knee is twisted or ankle twisted or you are hit by something, apply ice for 3 to 5 times a day for 5-10 minutes and keep doing that. That is the best painkiller that one can have at his home and already available.
Sometimes while we are running, let's say someone who is new at marathon, let's say this is my feet and this is my ankle. So this joint or the tendon, I would say, is connecting my shins to my ankle. This gets very hard. If I'm trying to run, it's like a limiting factor that is very hard, or trying to stop my feet from getting that stretch while running, and obviously it impacts the performance. So what is the potential reason for that? Why does that happen?
So in the front or the back?
In the back.
In the back. So in the back of our leg, that is the calf muscle. So the calf muscles, which eventually attaches to our heel bone, is formed by the tendon, and that is called as the Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
So Achilles tendon is known to be the strongest tendon of the body. That is the Achilles tendon.
Okay.
Because it has a lot of strength. It helps you just sprint and jump and run. So whenever if you are exerting your body out of your comfort zone, so tendo Achilles plays a very good role in helping you run and taking the initial steps in a stride. So that is where it is very exerted, and eventually it swells up during the run or after the run, which ultimately leads to the pain and discomfort that you are feeling.
So, like, what are the methods that we can use to make it more free or make it more active?
So in the short run, some form of warm-up would do help in this, but in the long run, conditioning and exercising the sole part and the calf part really helps a lot.
Okay, so we need on a regular basis, we need to do some stretching and to get optimal performance.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, Dr. Ayush, let's talk about a special case that you worked with, maybe an elite athlete or a experienced sports person. So, what did you treat, or what problem did they face, which might not be very common with normal people, because injuries for sports person are very different than normal people. So, if you can share some interesting example.
So when we say elite athlete, so I would say he's not just elite because of his physical or muscular performance, but also his mental strength that he carries in the game. So one example I would say, without disclosing the name, I would say when his team needed that extra run, he was under so much pressure that was shown on the screen, but eventually he did not take that single, and his team was on the losing side that day. But I'll tell you what, behind the screen, that player was really injured, really in pain, because he was suffering from a lip injury that he got stitched for. Also, he was suffering from a thumb injury that no one barely noticed, but his strength, his mental composure, and the sacrifice they make are unbelievable.
Because I can understand the pain tolerance for athletes must be really high compared to normal people.
Absolutely.
Because they have to continue their performance as well.
Even for normal people, even a scratch would make them make it a priority for them to get it pain relieved. But I've seen him play for around 6 to 7 hours, and then he showed up for the injury that was a deep cut in his lips, for which he didn't even complain that it was in pain. So,
okay.
mental toughness and physical endurance is just
They go
next
hand
level.
in hand.
Yes.
So, Dr. Ayush, you are the official team medical doctor for the IPL team that's currently, the IPL season that's currently going on. So, you have on ground experience how players are playing over there. What's the protocol if someone gets injured? What kind of injuries can they fix? So, it must be really exciting, right? On having that on ground experience with the sports person. So, in general, if a sports person gets injured during IPL, what is the protocol that we follow?
So whenever we, as a medical team and the whole medical support, we have to have a keen watch on what is happening on the ground, what players are already struggling with an injury and getting repeatedly injured. So we have to have a close watch on that. Also, if a players get injured on ground, so we have a physio that is called in on field, and he has 4 minutes to actually examine and treat him if possible on ground.
Okay.
If he's able to do that in the 4 minutes, the player is good to go. And if he's not, even after 4 minutes, the player is in pain or is unable to play, then he's called off field, he's evaluated, and all the possibilities of ruling out a serious injury is seen. Only then he's allowed to play. And even if he's playing, a close watch is always maintained.
So, what kind of injury? What are the different kind of injuries that can happen to an IPL sports person or a cricketer on ground?
Okay. So currently in this season, we are seeing that Mitchell Stark is suffering from his shoulder and elbow injuries.
Okay.
And for being a fast bowler, you have to have a good shoulder, arm, wrist complex intact for doing your keeping your pace at that speed. Also, we have heard of MS Dhoni, who's suffering from his calf muscle injury. So he's onto a progressive load management protocol that he's slowly improving on that, and hopefully we'll be able to see him.
Okay. So, as you said, let's talk about the bowlers. Shoulder injury must be happening when someone is throwing a ball at a very high pace, and even during javelin throw. So, I really appreciate Mr. Neeraj Chopra, who is a very famous athlete in India and highly respectable. So, I really look forward to him. So in these kind of activities, the torque that our shoulder faces, maybe when it's javelin throwing or throwing a ball in cricket. So what are the chances of shoulder maybe dislocation or talking from a common man's perspective, not from an athlete, but if a common man is trying to do these activities, what is the risk of injury for him happening there in the shoulder?
So in the shoulder joint, apart from the muscles, the bone also articulates with each other. That is the humerus, that is the arm bone, and the shoulder bone, that is the glenoid bone. They both make up a joint. And for a normal man, doing activities that are over his head are bare minimum, like just for keeping a thing on the shelf. That is all that we do on most days. But for a player like into javelin throw, he has to have top level of muscle condition to be able to do that. The flexibility, the strength, as well as the power that he has to generate, it creates an enormous impact on the bone. So also, very few people know that the biceps that we have, the origin of that biceps is just right at the top of our shoulder joint.
Yeah.
So it also creates an impact on that. So creating a perfect balance between the muscles and the ligaments to be able to do that and still be pain-free and injury-free is something that has made Neeraj Chopra what he is today.
Okay.
Also, he was while he was competing and was not able to grab the gold medal. It was because of his groin injury that he was suffering from, and later his shoulder injury also was part and parcel of the problems that he was facing, for which he was under supervised rehab and a long-term load conditioning program that he was into, and now he's very much better and back into his competitive level.
Great, great. So, um, we all know that the sports ecosystem in India is at this level, it's not very appreciated or promoted as a whole. We, Health Collective Forum as an organization, we are really trying to support the athletes or in any way we can become a part in this ecosystem. So, talking about getting new people involved in sports or athletics in general, a lot of my friends who are working professionals, they say, "Kya we want to be active." If you ask someone, "Do you want to be active?" They say yes. But taking another step and getting into it, doing that on a regular basis is very tough. So, what activities do you suggest that on a weekly basis someone wants to get starting, just get rolling it into the physical space? What should they start with? Someone who has a desk job, morning to evening they're sitting over the laptop doing coding or talking to the AI, developing dashboards or presentations. Look, having a standard desk job, and they want to get into physical training. So, what all options do they have for that?
So I'll tell you what, for all the professional workings, all the people who are working in corporate offices and have a desk job, who keeps on sitting for 8 to 10 hours, then they rush back home into dead traffic, and then they just go home, eat their dinner, and they just sleep. But on the weekend, they do have plans for, like, we have box cricket, we have football, we have pickleball that is coming up, and marathon, of course. So for them, my advice would be, for the weekdays, that is when they're in their office, some form of stretching, getting up, flexing your muscles, doing some form of sit-ups or stretching would really, really help. After every 1-2 hours, just get up from your seat, take a walk, stretch your calf muscles, your glutes muscles. So it is believed that our gluteal muscles, that is the hip muscles, are the largest muscles in our body. They act like a glucose sponge, the sugar sponge, because if you activate them or keep on stretching or having a few here and there exercises for them, it acts as a really good sugar lowering exercise.
Yeah, yeah.
So some form of stretching and exercising between the office hours is one thing. On the weekends, they should avoid contact sports such as basketball or football, because these are very much prone to injuries. They can preferably play pickleball, some form of running and stretching, yoga. That is something they can really do. And even if you are conditioned, your knee muscles are well in place, then it's a good option to play for football. But although football is something
Highly demanding.
yes, it's a demanding sport for the knee. So there are tendencies for getting a knee injury while playing football, and we are seeing a high rise in the number of patients that are breaking their ACLs, and they are mostly from the football arena.
Okay. So what are your favorite activities or sports that you look forward to?
See, I play sports and games from time to time. I change them as per season and as per mood. And I have played most of the sports that we currently see: basketball, football, volleyball, squash, and pickleball. And now I'm into weightlifting and strength training. But whenever I get time, I enjoy badminton.
Okay.
And it's a perfect balance of movement,
Yeah.
body agility, and it also is a very demanding sport.
So we have our parents or senior citizens at home. Let's say someone who hasn't done any kind of physical activity like sports or any athletic activity. They are just someone with a sedentary lifestyle, not very active, just working, enjoying, everything is happening. So after, let's say, they are in they're over their middle age, maybe 55, 60 years, and they want to, obviously they are not having a very good health at that time. They might be having n number of problems, maybe diabetes, blood pressure problems, or weak bones and muscles. Any kind of problem can be there. But at this point also, if someone takes a decision that why not, let's become active now. It is understood that they cannot be like active from day one. But how can someone restart their journey towards more activism and keeping in mind that they are 55 to 60 years old? So what can they do then? And also staying safe from injuries.
जो लोग इस टाइम पे 55, 60, 70 की रेंज में है, एंड मोस्टली दे आर पेरेंट्स, एंड अब वो सोचते हैं कि क्या अब मैं फिटनेस और क्या अब मैं एक्टिविटी लेवल कुछ बढ़ा भी पाऊंगा. तो क्या होता है कि आफ्टर 30 to 40 years हमारी बॉडी का नेचुरल मैकेनिज्म होता है कि अगर कोई मसल यूज नहीं हो रही है तो वो कम होती जाएगी.
ओके.
एंड 55, 60, 70 साल की एज तक आते आते हमारी बॉडी में मसल्स कम हो जाती हैं, फैट बढ़ जाता है. तो ये और भी ज्यादा मुश्किल कर देता है हमें हमारी बॉडी को मूवमेंट में हेल्प करे, क्योंकि हमारी बॉडी की मूवमेंट और एक्सरसाइज मसल्स करती हैं, फैट नहीं. तो अगर मसल्स बढ़ानी है, अगर बॉडी को मूवमेंट में दोबारा वापस लाना है, तो फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट रूल तो यही है कि प्रोग्रेसिव होना चाहिए. डे 1 पे सारा कुछ नहीं करना. स्टार्ट स्लो, बी स्मार्ट. शुरुआती तौर पे मैं एडवाइस करूंगा किसी से भी, अगर वो 55-60 के हैं और अभी तक एक्सरसाइज नहीं करी है, स्टार्ट विद योगा.
ओके.
डूइंग योगा रेगुलरली. और उससे क्या होता है, योगा से बेनिफिट्स क्या होते हैं, डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स ऑफ योगा, बट प्राइमरीली वो आपके जॉइंट की जो एक्टिविटी और रेंज ऑफ मोशन है वो बहुत इंप्रूव करके रखता है. आपकी बॉडी के लिए ऑक्सीजनेशन बहुत अच्छी करता है. और सारे जो जॉइंट्स हैं वो एक बार फिर से अपनी मूवमेंट जो होनी चाहिए वो उससे वापस लेके आता है. जैसे जैसे आपकी मूवमेंट्स बेटर होती जा रही हैं, आप एक बेटर डाइट की तरफ भी जाते हो. ये जब चेंजेस आपके बेटर हो जाते हैं और 1 to 2 to 4 months, then you can probably start walking around. आप 2 किलोमीटर, 4 किलोमीटर, 6 किलोमीटर आप डेली वॉक करो. When you're comfortable in that zone, तब आप प्रोग्रेसिवली बढ़ के आप ओपन जिम जो हमारी एक्सरसाइजेस लगी हुई है पार्क्स में, दे आर वेरी गुड. ओपन जिम एक्सरसाइजेस जो गवर्नमेंट ने इंस्टॉल करके दी हैं, दे आर वेरी गुड बट equally underutilized.
Yeah. So, for someone who is starting up running or starting up walking, what is the difference between natural running on roads or outdoor terrains versus running on a treadmill? What is the difference between the both, which is more suitable or avoidable? What do you think about that?
So primarily the reason of running is exercise. You want your body to move. But रनिंग एक ऐसा स्पोर्ट है जिसमें आपका लोअर बॉडी तो यूज हो रहा है, अपर बॉडी भी यूज होता है बिकॉज ऑफ द स्विंगिंग आर्म एक्शन. जब आप रोड पे रन कर रहे हो या जब आप नॉर्मल रन कर रहे हो तो सम फॉर्म ऑफ पर्सनल एफर्ट भी बहुत ज्यादा यूज होता है टू मेंटेन इट. बट जब हम ट्रेडमिल पे रन करते हैं, ट्रेडमिल बिकॉज ऑफ दैट स्ट्राइड दैट वी टेक, इट ऑल्सो गिव्स अस अ स्मॉल परसेंटेज ऑफ इनर्शिया, a momentum which helps us take the next step.
एक just very small thing, inertia explain हम पहले audience के लिए कर देते हैं. What is inertia?
Inertia एक momentum हम कह सकते हैं कि अगर हम किसी को पुश कर रहे हैं तो वो उस पुश को मेंटेन करता है. तो जब भी
even if the force is stopped.
Yes. अगर ट्रेडमिल पे हम हैं और हमने 3, 4, 5 कदम रखने के बाद एक कदम रखा तो ऑटोमेटिकली पैर को पीछे ले जा रहा है. तो आपकी बॉडी के लिए काम और लोड कम हो गया. इवेंचुअली आपकी मसल्स अपने पीक काम पे नहीं कर रही, वो सब ऑप्टिमल लेवल पे काम कर रही होती तब. तो इसलिए अगर ट्रेडमिल पे रनिंग इज नॉट बैड पर से, बट अगर आप रोड पे रन कर रहे हो या नेचुरल रनिंग कर रहे हो, आपके एफर्ट्स, आपकी बॉडी, आपकी मसल्स पे ज्यादा फोकस्ड रहेगा.
ओके. और नीज पे क्या होगा उसमें? ऐसा है कि अगर रोड पे करें, बिकॉज वहां पे शॉक अब्जॉर्प्शन हो सकता है ट्रेडमिल से थोड़ा बहुत कम हो, या फिर ग्रास से तो बहुत कम होगा, तो नीज पे क्या इफेक्ट पड़ेगा अगर कोई रोड पे रनिंग कर रहा है? वहां पे ग्राइंडिंग भी ऑब्वियसली ज्यादा होगी, नीज पे लोड और प्रेशर भी ज्यादा पड़ेगा, टेंशन बिटवीन द जॉइंट्स भी बहुत ज्यादा होगा.
सो अर्लियर क्या होता था कि हमारे शूज जो होते थे वही भागने के, वही चलने के, वही शायद ऑफिस जाने के, बट रिसेंटली शूज जैसे जैसे डेवलप हो रहे हैं, शूज टेक्नोलॉजी जैसे डेवलप हो रही है, कार्बन प्लेट्स एंड फोम क्वालिटी जो यूज हो रही है, दैट itself helps in generating a force from the ground and replicating it, जो हमें हेल्प करता है बाउंस ऑफ करने के लिए.
ओके.
तो जब हम वो रोड पे रन कर रहे हैं या फिर हम सॉफ्ट ग्राउंड पे रन कर रहे हैं, तो वो एक शॉक एब्जॉर्बर की तरह भी काम करता है, which ultimately decreases the load on your knee joint.
Okay.
So slowly that concept is fading away. अगर आप शॉर्ट रन्स कर रहे हो, then probably आप नॉर्मल जूते पहनोगे. But if you are running at a stretch for 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, then eventually you will feel that pressure and you'll be pushed to buy those shoes that are coming up now.
Okay. All right, doctor. So very great conversation, and let's get into more insights, and we'll talk about in detail about the problem faced and how to overcome them for normal people.